since it's already became the chairperson. Some context. So I came in CSO actually in the 44th year of CSO. So just a few years before the pandemic, and I was actually the chairperson in the middle of the pandemic. So I was literally the pandemic chairperson. So there was a chairperson who experienced the in-house, in the office, and there's also Isa there who was the chairperson after the pandemic has happened, right? So my chairperson experience started online and ended in person. So I finally saw Frosh Walk happen because of Isa. Setting up on campus, which is quite a happy experience, right? So I was asked to talk about more on the postgraduates side of things. What can we impart to the students who are currently in CSO, and what is it like in CSO before and what they can do now, right? So I'm gonna really start where 44th was, then I'm gonna end where I am right now. So 44th was in a space wherein we were handling a lot of organizations. At that time, I think we were at like 43 organizations. And the process before was, we were doing a lot of paperwork. There were people going around the campus holding a lot of activities, and that came with documents that could actually fill up the entire office. And it was kind of wild. By the end of it, I think I was the vice chairperson for publicity production, so I learned how to do Photoshop and whatnot. But even when there's digital processes, we were still doing paperwork. So when I think this was the time of the 46 came in, I wanted to change something. Not because I wanted to improve the process for everybody, but because I was actually a very lazy person. So I didn't want to do paperwork myself. So we started with Google Forms and eventually became a digital process for submitting publicity approvals, right? So yes, that's the beginning. I am a lazy person. But this lazy person came from multiple changes throughout his life. I was part of the first batch of K-12. My high one was renamed to grade 9 in the middle of it. I skipped one grade because of that. I came into DLSU and apparently we can't go abroad anymore because there was a pandemic. So it's really hard to follow change, but it will either eat you or it will drive you. You can only choose one of those things, and you can't let it eat you. You're part of a whole bunch of communities. You can see alumni here, sitting here after 50 years, and you can see yourself, and you can see like other people in the community who continues to build the Philippines, the world, and whatnot, right? So, in the midst of the pandemic, my parents cut me off from my allowance. And that's because there was nothing to buy, or so they thought. So, I started working. I've been in the data space for 5 years now. I worked in Kumu, Shopee, Thinking Machines, and now I'm in Maya as an analytics engineer. So some background, because nobody knows what an analytics engineer is. I build data models so that they can use it for machine learning models, also known as artificial intelligence. So in the problem space of the 47th, we needed to bring all the processes online. And because I brought some of the processes online under my responsibilities beforehand, I decided to learn how to code because I had time on my hands. So this was before I became chairperson. I had the whole 3 months of learning coding. I am actually a business degree major, so I didn't actually learn coding in class. So I decided to learn it on my own. This was 3 months, 6 months of learning, and eventually I became a chairperson. There were a lot of processes I changed. Before, at least in my area, we were submitting about 1,000 publicities before the pandemic through the form. I think it grew to 15,000 by the end of the pandemic, or more, I think, with the help of my other teammates as well. So where am I getting at here? A lot of processes comes from laziness. When people are lazy, they find things to make it easier. Because they don't want to do the work. Let's be honest here. I don't want to do the work of like 10 people when you could do it in about 10 minutes. So change is constant, and it will eat you alive unless you don't let it. So this comes the same with the advent of AI. Large language models, as they say, they don't think for themselves. It's a large language model. So what does it mean? You feed it data, it learns how the language works, it gives you the most statistical output it can in the most humanistic way. If it has done a lot of good things, it has done a lot of bad things. Okay, bad things, a lot of databases have been deleted because people were lazy. Good things, a lot of people are scared about their jobs. And I guess the point where I'm getting at here is artificial intelligence will only replace you if you let it. I've been in the data space for 4 years, or well, 5 years now, and I don't see it replacing my job, at least in the next 10. I hope it does in the next 5, but until then, we're gonna see a lot of people building a lot of things. We're gonna see things go faster. We're gonna see things go ham on a lot of processes that we see now. Paper might not be the thing anymore in 10 years or so, they say, but I definitely disagree. Okay? You need to bring value to the table. You need to understand that because of our human ways, we can build things bigger and better. LLMs are just a tool, and we want to bring it to bigger heights, and that starts with being human, right? We want to build things for the betterment of our society. And so, I just want to end with the thing that I said a while ago. Change will just eat you, or it will drive you. Please let it drive you. Thank you.